So hey everyone, myself Nisha Pipalia. Welcome to my passion for IT. And today we are going through our 6M project called Seva Mitra, a friendly chatbot for government schemes. So let's look into the team that made this project. So it's me, Nisha Pipalia, and my teammate Shreyas Warrior. Then our project guides, Dr. Vipul Davi sir and Dr. Arasya Prajapati sir. And for any queries, you can contact us at it.ddu.ac.in@gmail.com. Why our project is that much helpful to the citizens of India. So consider there's a farmer named Kishan, and he is willing to uh, purchase some modern goods like tractors or thresher, etc. But he is afraid of the upfront cost that this equipment has. So someone just said him that there are these government schemes which provide you subsidies or some kind of benefit monetary support for purchasing these modern equipments. So he started researching, but now he's confused that in which government scheme he should apply so that he can have maximum benefit. Then he came up across our chatbot or our application called Seva Mitra. So he just explained his situation and asked his query to our chatbot. Our chatbot guided as per its knowledge, and then it's helped Kishan in such a grateful manner that he increased his yield of his farm and now he's an happy farmer. So let's look into the interaction with our web app. So we have quite simple UI. You just need to visit our website and enter these questions or whatsoever situation you are in. So the question entered over here is: are there any Indian government schemes that provide affordable healthcare services or vaccination for infant? And then around 20 seconds, our chatbot answered that yes, there are various schemes like Ayushman Bharat, National Health Protection Scheme, and the list goes on. It has some brief of each and every scheme. So now, if you are willing to apply in any one of the scheme, just take get the name from this list and ask a follow-up question. So here's the follow-up question from the question which was asked previously. So the fifth scheme in the list, that is Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, the user is willing to apply in this scheme. So he's asked a follow-up question that how I can apply to Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. And again, in few seconds, our chatbot has answered that yeah, thank you for reaching out to me. Like you should first check eligibility. Then it has mentioned the eligibility that it is for pregnant and lactating women who live below poverty line. Then you are supposed to fill, if you are eligible, then you are supposed to fill the application form, which you can you can fill it by going at your gram panchayat or any municipality office nearby with some required documents like Aadhaar card, address proof, and income certificate, right? So it's like quite concise answer. It's actually a long answer, but I can't accommodate it over here. So you just need to visit it and try it yourself, right? So next, let's see our core features. So first of all, it's clear and concise information delivery, the personalized recommendation, and there's a conversational interface for our system. Then we have private knowledge base, like no third party person can access it and change it according to his or her will. Then input and output is in natural language, and there's a continuous ingestion of updated data. That is, as soon as government introduce any new scheme or make changes in a previous scheme, we are just going to update data, and you can get the latest answer for your queries, right? So next, let's look into the technologies that we have used. So the technologies that we have used are Python as our programming language, and we have used the LangChain library. We have used Meta Llama 2 as our LLM model, and we have used AWS as our cloud provider for hosting our project and uses services in our project. So the main core part of our project is the RAG pipeline. So let's deep dive into it. So let's prepare a RAG pipeline for our project. So the first step that we did was data collection. So there's a website of Indian government called myscheme.gov, and you can just read anything, like read the details of any scheme on this website. But it's not that useful for citizens who are not aware about it, or the citizens who are not literate in English or who don't know English, right? So it's less useful. And what we did was we web scraped the data from this website, and we stored it in the text files and then uploaded it to the S3 bucket for our further preparation. Then we moved we moved to the next step, that is a vector database preparation. So the data that was stored on S3 bucket is chunked and sent to the instructor large embedding model, which is hosted on SageMaker endpoint. Then this endpoint created the embeddings of the text chunk that was sent to it, and we are storing this text chunk and embedding in OpenSearch, which we are using it as our vector database. So the last step in our pipeline was the inference. So user would be sending its query to our Lambda function. We have made it such a way that we would be receiving the query in Lambda function, and this query is sent to our embedding model. Then this embedded query is sent to our vector database for fetching the relevant text chunks. Then this query and text chunk in text format is sent to the Llama 2, which is hosted on a SageMaker endpoint for preparing the output, or I can say for inference. And then this generated output is sent back to the Lambda function, which it would be sending back to the user. So let's see the architecture of a project. It's quite simple. So the data is stored in S3 bucket, like these things I explained in previous slides. The data is stored in S3 bucket. We are using SageMaker notebook instance for fetching it, chunking it, and sending it to the embedding model for creating embedding. Then this embedding and text chunk is stored in OpenSearch. Then the user from the GUI or from Postman API tester, it would be sending requests to our API gateway, which would be serving the API calls. Then this API gateway would be invoking a Lambda function called chat message. Then what would this Lambda function do? It would first of all send the query to the embedding model, get the embedded query, then it would send it to the OpenSearch vector database for fetching the relevant chunk documents. Then again the chunk documents would be coming to the Lambda function, and again we would be sending all these things together to our SageMaker endpoint, and then this endpoint would be preparing output, or I can say would prepare an inference output for us, and it would be sending back to the Lambda function. So as we can see that this Lambda function would be sending the output as a JSON response to our GUI or the Postman API tester. So thank you for listening to me. Have a great day.